Chris.
Good morning, guys.
Will the Bucks beat the Celtics in the next round?
Yes. I think it's a 6-game series. And maybe I'm being generous, but I got the Bucks in 6.
Wow.
It looks like y'all both got Boston. We'll see.
No.
The way you're looking at me. Here's the thing.
You've had the Bucks all year.
I like the Bucks. I did pick Toronto to win the East, but I'm questioning that now. But the Bucks, I know a lot of people, maybe you guys will look back at last year and say Boston beat them in 7 without Kyrie and Gordon Hayward. And obviously they have more talent in those guys. We know how great Kyrie is. But I'm not sure the Celtics are better right now than they were at this point last year because of the chemistry is not the same, and those young guys were playing well together. And here's the thing. Milwaukee wasn't close. Even though their personnel is very similar, they weren't close to as good. There was a huge coaching advantage that Brad Stevens had over Joe Prunty, the interim coach for Milwaukee. So there's that for the Bucks. And the Bucks, they got a few things going for them. I could mention Giannis, the best player on the floor. Kyrie's the most clutch, but Giannis is their best player. But a couple things, they are almost perfectly built for this analytics. They're analytically built, where you got one guy in Giannis who can get into the paint whenever he wants. So he can get a paint shot whenever he wants, and if you build up a wall or stop him in there, he kicks it out, and they just surround him with three-point shooters. They shot more threes than anybody outside of Houston.
They did.
And then defensively, they're aggressive. They've got rim protectors in Giannis and Brook Lopez. And Eric Bledsoe, you can't shut down Kyrie, but he will make it tough on Kyrie. Kyrie shot 39% against Milwaukee during the regular season. So there's that. And then Milwaukee does not let their foot off the gas. Like, that's an advantage that Boston usually has over people, is they play so hard, they're so gritty, they're so well coached. I say the coaching thing is even, because Budenholzer was my vote for Coach of the Year. He was the coach's vote for Coach of the Year. And Milwaukee just doesn't, like, there's no nonsense. They go hard all the time. That's why they won 45 games, a league high, by double figures, and then blew Detroit out in every single game. Where you rarely see that. I mean, Golden State is 10 points or better than the Clippers, but sometimes they let their foot off the gas. Houston, sometimes they let their foot off the gas, maybe last night. Milwaukee does not do that. So I think they're going to win this series.
What do you think, 5? I think you
6.
just talked yourself
You're
into
trying.
5.
I'm saying
you made a 5 case.
I have the utmost respect for Boston. And I think Brad Stevens is a very good coach. Kyrie is arguably the best closer in the game, certainly one of them. But I just think Milwaukee is just that much better this year.
I'm taking the Bucks as well. Look, the Celtics swept Indiana, but without Oladipo. And Indiana could have easily won 2 of those last 3 games, Skip. I mean, they're close. They had Bogdanovich trying to close for them, where the Celtics had Kyrie closing for them. And that was really the difference in the ball game. As you mentioned, Chris, that you don't think the Celtics has gotten better from what they were last year. Well, Giannis is head and shoulders above where he was last year.
No question.
He's a difference maker. And as before, when I was like, James Harden should be the MVP, if Giannis wins the MVP, Skip, I'm not going to be nearly as upset as I would have been, say, 2 months ago. What I've seen from him in the playoffs, because that's what I wanted to see. Yeah, he had a monster season, 26-12 or 27-12 and 5. But what were you going to do in the playoffs? He's answered the bell. He stepped up. You want to be that guy. Regular season is fine, but legends are cultivated and made come playoff time. And this is his opportunity to do all of that. They surrounded him with, as you mentioned, 3-point marksmen. I love Bledsoe. I love Middleton. Brook Lopez, he does his job. He ain't going to get a whole bunch of rebounds, Skip, but he'll knock down some threes. He'll protect the rim and everything. I did not see this. I know you at the beginning of the year, like Milwaukee. I didn't see them being this good. I thought they, win 50, 53 games. 60 games? 58? 60 games. Yeah, 60 games. I didn't see them being this good, Skip. They might be better than everybody thought they would. I mean, you heard some people like, okay, Milwaukee going to be good. He's surrounded, Budenholzer's a very good coach. They surrounded him. They got a guy that can play out of the paint, can pass it to open shooters. And because They got no answer for him. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, whomever, Smart's injured. Morris, they have no answer for that. It's almost like when they're playing Cleveland and trying to deal with LeBron. The difference was they didn't have an answer for LeBron. They don't have an answer for that.
Well, they got Aaron Baines, but I love Aaron Baines.
Yeah.
He tries
For what
hard.
he is,
He
for
tries
what
hard.
he is.
Well,
I
they,
like it.
well, they better
Big
get
man.
that Bane from Batman.
I know. Bane.
Yeah, they better get
Singular.
him.
I'm going to go clear out to the end of the limb here, and I'm going to take Boston in this series.
Okay.
And I wouldn't
7?
bet a drop of dew on it. I am almost certainly wrong, but I just have a feeling about this. And my feeling comes from the fact you realize Giannis just won his first ever playoff series, albeit against a Blake Griffin who was playing on one leg at best
Yeah.
and didn't play in the first 2 games, right?
Yes.
And you're right, that they won the 4 games combined by 95 points. They are steamrolling everybody in their path. They won 60 games. They're 11 games better than Boston was. They're 3rd in offense, which is pretty sensational, and 1st in defense. There's nothing not to like about any of that except playoff experience. So Kyrie has played in 56 playoff games. That's a lot of games. And for the record, Gordon Hayward, for what it's worth, has played in 19. And what I saw against Indiana was, you're right, they actually played 4 pretty close games against Indiana. They only won by plus 30 over those 4 games. And if Oladipo had been there, it might have been 7 games.
Yes.
Because they were without a closer, obviously. But I really liked what happened for Boston in Game 4. Because for once, Kyrie was not called upon to close. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Marcus Morris took off. And then, out of really nowhere, Gordon Hayward really took off going back home to Indiana.
Yep.
He had 20 points, made 7 of 9 shots, 3 of 3 from 3, and made all of his 3 free throws for 20 points. That was huge for this team. And what I saw, because Indiana is tough. They're very well coached, and they will fight you to the death. And they did. And I thought it was great for Boston to draw a team that's very dangerous, they're a good sparring partner to set you up for the next round, but they just don't have a closer. So it's going to be close, 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 and then we got this. So they swept them. But I felt like for the first time all year, the Celtics came together. It just felt that way to me. It felt like they made peace with Kyrie, and he made some peace with them. And you talked about their chemistry. It looked like a chemical reaction to me that the team solidified. And they're going to miss Marcus Smart, but at least the rotation sort of clarified. And Malcolm Brogdon, I don't know what he tore his plantar fascia, and they say he might be available for this round, but it's iffy.
Yeah.
So it's sort of a trade-off. No Marcus Smart, no Malcolm Brogdon, because again, Malcolm Brogdon's better than Marcus Smart, but they can both defend at a high level.
Yeah, he's the only 50-40-30 guy.
Yeah.
I mean, 50-40-90 guy in the NBA. Brogdon was this year. And if he comes back, Skip, he's at the start of 5 weeks. They said 6 to 8. So what, maybe games 5 through 7 if need be? But I think they would err on the side of caution and probably bring him back in the Eastern Conference Finals if they were to get there.
So the Celtics last year, somehow, some way, they got to Game 7 of the conference finals. So all those kids know what it felt like to advance through the playoffs. And again, Greek Freak he's just emerging. He made a play last night. I don't know if we've shown it already.
Oh, the one he hung up in there?
I don't even know how he did it. Like, he was about to get blocked by Drummond. And then he reset in midair, hung.
And went left
Came up under and made the shot. I don't know how he did it.
Cool.
It's for a man that long and that tall to be able to do that in midair. It's just hard, man. So he's it. He is all that you say, and he will defend to the highest level. But there's something, as you well know, having covered the league as long as you have, for something to be said for playoff experience. And Boston has tons of it. And Giannis just won. If you go back to 2015, he lost the Bulls in 6, then he missed the playoffs, then he lost the Raptors in 6, and last year he did lose to these Celtics in 7 games. But they had home court. So it was Game 7 at Boston. So again, it's probably a long shot, but I just have a feeling like the Celtics just took off. And they're more like what we all thought they'd be in the beginning.
Well, take all the do on it.
I just told you I wouldn't bet a drop.
We got to bet some dues, Skip. I mean, if you're gonna
I'm
win,
not going to give it back to you. I gave you one case back thanks to Lou Williams.
If you're going to be like the Skip, don't be like the casinos. I mean, just think if they win the bet, they're like, oh no, you can't bet anymore. Come on, Skip, give me a chance.
We got lots of do bet. We got many future bets. You're going to lose 4 cases to me in the football season because the Cowboys are going to win that division. You've already lost that.
No,
That's it. You should concede.
I'm not going to concede anything.
Yeah.
Can I get some playoff bets? I mean,
Well, we're just getting
oh,
started.
yeah, and we got the Nuggets and the Spurs.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think we bet.
Oh,
on
I was
think we-
wondering
I
about that.
don't
Yes,
think. I think
bet.
that's a fictional bet in your
Dude,
mind.
no.
After you conceded that the Spurs are going to win the series.
No. That's not what I conceded.
That's what
No,
happened.
I said the Spurs were in charge, in control of the series because the road team series doesn't start till what, Chris? The road team
I've
wins.
never understood that, though. Because the road team may never win.
Okay, well, then
Like,
you can...
it could be a 7-game series. The road team never wins, and it's over.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
But the
like,
road team wins. Then I
They
win.
always say that. I've been like, that
Yeah.
makes no sense.
But the home court, well, if I got home court, all I got to do is hold serve at home. But what happens if you lose one of those games at home? Like the Spurs did.
both
And we
did.
went back there, and old Jamal Murray went down there and got it back for us.
He congratulated himself on national.
Don't do that, Skip. Why you?
Right.
Hold on. You ain't said you ain't say anything
We're about
about
to talk about those
Oh,
guys
White.
next.
we're gonna talk about them.
White.
I
Oh,
think it
yeah.
is